Hi, I'm Paula Fowler.
And I'm Don Fowler, and we're going to talk to you today about tips on buying and owning your own home. And the reason that is so important is that the average person in Louisville, Kentucky pays about $1,000 per month in rent, either for an apartment or for their own home. Now, some people, of course, pay more, some pay less, but that is an average number. And $1,000 a month comes out to $12,000 a year. And over the course of 10 years, that comes out to $120,000. Now, after 10 years, that $120,000, you're either going to have nothing to show for it, or if you own your own home, you may have $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 worth of equity. And that's why that is so important and why we want to talk to you about this topic.
So, before you start looking for your first home, we're going to talk to you today about looking at your income and expenses, shopping for a home that will need some improvements, have some savings set aside for closing costs and or down payment. We're going to tell you about paying off a small loan, credit cards, and also, lastly, getting pre-approved by a lender or of your choice.
Now, look at your income and expenses realistically. That involves making a plan, writing down all of your income and expenses. That's called your budget. Of course, income is the money you have coming in from your paycheck, your side hustle, your mowing grass, your extra side jobs, whatever that may be. And expenses is anything that you spend money on. And anything, it could be your car payment, it could be your clothing, it could be anything that you're spending money on. So don't count your raise until it happens. That's very important. A lot of people do that in advance and build that into your budget and start spending before the raise actually shows up on your paycheck. Make sure you have a clear understanding of the difference between your gross pay and your net pay. And do you have expenses that you can live without and pay off quickly? If so, pay off as many of those before you purchase your home.
So, what's a budget look like? Mr. Fowler, this is an example budget of a married couple. At the top, it shows their income. That is what they brought home this month. They brought home $2,000 and $1,800, which is a total income of $3,800 that they can spend. So then they've listed all of their expenses that they are going to have. Down at the bottom, it shows that they've paid themselves first with the savings of $390. And they're saving possibly for that emergency that they know is going to happen. Or they might be saving for the new piece of furniture or a new car. Regardless, you got to have some savings in case bad times come along. And then lastly, miscellaneous expenses are anything like haircuts, entertainment, things that pop up that really don't have a category. So look at your budget every month and where can you save money?
Understand the difference between your gross pay and your net pay. A lot of people are confused by that. When you get a job, get a salary, let's say you're making $20 an hour. $20 an hour times 40 hours a week is $800 a week. Times 4 weeks is $3,200 per month. That is your gross pay. That is not actually how much money you get to take home with you, of course, because you have things like taxes, Social Security, health insurance, and other things that come out of your check, and that it gives you your net pay is after the deduction. So in this example, $3,200 is your gross pay minus $1,200 in taxes, insurance, and other deductions from your paycheck will give you $2,000 in your net pay for a month. And this is the amount that your paycheck will be. Good rule of thumb is about 35 to 40%. In this example, we took 38% out of your paycheck to come out to your net pay.
Okay, the bank is going to calculate your desired house payment. When they pre-approve you, they're going to tell you that if you make $3,200 a month, they're going to multiply that by 28%. That will give them an $896 house payment amount that they want you to stay at or under. Now, if you're married, you'll have two incomes. So you'll have two gross incomes that you add together, multiply both of those times 28%, and that's going to give you your new house payment that you can budget together as a married couple. Remember that you're going to have water, electricity, phone, food, gas, car, and miscellaneous expenses that you're also going to have to pay. So don't go over that 28% rule.
One big tip that I would give you, and I wish I knew this when I bought my first home, is that don't look for the perfect home like your parents have after 25 or 30 years. Is look for a home that needs improvements. You'll save a lot of money if you purchase a home that needs updating. Maybe it hasn't been updated in 25 or 30 years. If you don't mind putting a little sweat equity into it, watching YouTube videos, learn how to do some basic things yourself that you're going to use the rest of your life, like painting, landscaping, swapping out light fixtures or plumbing fixtures, cleaning carpets, things like that. You can do some basic things like that and make that house your own home, customize it to your own style, and it will go a long way toward beautifying it, increasing the property. Good rule of thumb is to buy in a nice neighborhood. Find a nice street with a lot of nice homes on it. Buy an ugly house on that street. Maybe buy the worst house on that street. And when you fix it up, your neighbors will be very happy with you, and you will gain significant value in that home, as opposed to buying in a bad street. If you buy a nice home on a bad street, that home will tend to go down in value. If you buy an ugly home in a nice neighborhood, once you fix it up, you will gain significant value in that home.
Okay, have some savings set aside for closing costs and your down payment. Your bank is going to possibly require 10 to 20% down payment of the purchase price. They're also going to ask for closing costs, and the closing costs are the fees that banks charge to process your loan. So when you're negotiating to buy a home with your realtor, you're going to ask the seller to pay the closing costs. This is not a new thing. Everybody expects that to happen, and the seller has anticipated this. So if you're asking it, make sure that you not afraid to ask. It's not embarrassing, and probably they'll say yes. Also, get a home inspection so you're going to know what repairs need to be made. There's no such thing really as a house that's perfect. So you would like to know up front what those repairs are. Now, ask the seller to pay to repair all or some of those repairs. They're going to want to sell their house. They want the deal to go through, so they'll more than likely will agree to make at least some of those repairs, and that's less money out of your pocket.
Make sure you pay off any small loans or credit cards before you purchase your home. This will improve your chance of getting a loan in the first place. It will free up monthly for your monthly payments. And so what if it takes an extra 6 months or 12 months to do that? You're going to have a lot more peace of mind having smaller payments and other bills to worry about.
Okay, get pre-approved by a lender or a bank of your choice. You want to go to a bank where you have an existing relationship, possibly where you already have your checking account, but shop around call around to other banks and ask them what their loan rates are. It says at the top a maximum 15-year loan. That is a really good suggestion. You will be very young when you pay off the loan, and you will not be paying for 30 years, which is mostly interest. You'll just be paying 15 years, and you'll be free of those loan payments very soon. To have a good credit score, you would want to keep a good credit score to get that good lower interest rate, which will also in turn mean lower monthly payments.
One thing I did not know when I bought my first house is you should hire your own realtor. It does not cost you anything, believe it or not. Usually we just go out looking at houses. We don't realize that the realtor showing us that house is working for the seller. They do not have your best interest in mind. They have the best interest of the seller in mind. But before you start shopping, ask around, find a realtor with a good reputation, and have them represent you. They will sit down with you. They will understand what you're looking for in a house. They will schedule the showings with the other realtors. They will be with you through the entire process. They will handle all the paperwork for you. They will be with you during closing. And it doesn't cost you a dime. And the whole time they are looking out for your best interest. And the way they are paid is that 6 to 7% commission that the seller is paying. They split that commission with the seller's realtor and with your realtor. So make sure that is one of the very first things that you do is to hire your own realtor.
Okay, some resources that we are sharing for more information is DaveRamsey.com. He's a very well-known spokesman on radio. He has a radio show. He has books on budgeting and finance. A really helpful course. Also, NerdWallet.com and the Kentucky Housing Corporation, which is KentuckyHousing.org.
Thanks, guys, and happy home shopping. We hope this has been helpful, and we wish you success in finding your first home.
Thank you.